Hi everyone, I'm Luis from luisrevere.com here coming to you from my what's going to be my new office, my new place to do this video. So I'm excited. Uh, just not finished yet. I have few uh, fans, so it's going to be a little bit hot here. But I wanted to do the video here as I'm waiting for furniture to arrive, and then I wanted to do the first video here. And yes, this is going to be the first one here. Hopefully, I'll be doing a few more as I keep living in the house. And today is a special video, actually. I think I mentioned him in other videos, but I don't think I've done uh, like a video specifically about this artist. And I want to dedicate this video to my mother because I got the Beatles from my father. But this artist, I've learned of him. I've learned to listen to his music, and I love to appreciate him way beyond as a cultural icon that he is. And of course, I'm talking about Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley, of course, is known as the king of rock and roll. Um, of course, he was huge. And when he arrived, He was big. Uh, his music, even though I mean, at that time, few artists wrote their music, so it was transcendent the way he exploded, both as in the image aspect of music. I mean, I think he was the first like became this idol, uh, which I don't agree with having idols, but he became that. I mean, he physically, I mean, had the looks, had the moves, and definitely had the voice. I mean, to me, one of the things that stands out about Elvis is his voice. And you can actually divide it. Before the movies, I think his voice was just such a great rock and roll voice. And after the movies, he became such an artist in the sense that his voice made made you feel every word. I mean, one of the things I love about Elvis is that just like Karen Carpenter, I mean, he didn't need to write the song to make it his. I mean, he sang songs he believed in. He sang songs that maybe reflected what he was going through, and I think it came through in his voice. I think his voice um, was such potent and made you feel what he was going through, even though, like I said, he didn't need to write the song. He made it his. Um, and I wanted to do this video. Basically, what I'm gonna take. I'm just gonna mention my 20 favorite tracks, and I based it on two things. First, might be songs that only he sang, that were written for him, and others might have other versions, but I think his version is the best. So basically, those were my two criteria for selecting the songs. And I want to start with uh, a song called, which is a little rock number, and it's called "Marie's the Name of His Latest Flame." It's a cool little rock and roll track was written by Doc Palms, I think, or Mark Short. Palm and Schumann. Those are the names of the guys who wrote it. I don't remember the year that it became a hit, but it was a hit because it's on his 30 um, number one hits. I think that's the album where it's at, and it's just a cool song. I love the lyrics, the playfulness of the song. I don't know, it's just kind of like fun, not funny, but I don't know. I just like the words and I like the lyrics and I like the performance. Just a little kind of rock and roll little song. Here you go. It's 1961. It was released in 1961 by Elvis, and I don't think it was a single. I think it was a single. I don't know if it was available on an album. But that's my number 20. That's my number 20 song that I select. So moving on. At 19, this is a ballad, and During the second period of Elvis, or I think at the time when he was separated with Liz Marie, I think his songs became so melancholy, and he sang them so beautifully that to me they're just so moving. And this is one of those. This is called "For Old Time's Sake." I actually heard it on the new release from Stax, Elvis X Stax. Um, I don't know much about the albums like I do with the Beatles, for instance, because I don't know. American records were really weird at that time. They had so many different versions of it. I don't know. But anyway, it's a ballad written by Tony Joe White, and I think it's such a nice performance by Elvis. And again, just the words and his performance makes it such a nice, beautiful love song. At number 18, I'm going way back to his early records for this one, and it's a song called "Paralyzed." Um, when I first heard it, when I first heard it, I think it was on his second album. I mean, I just love the words, the lyrics, and of course the rock and roll aspect of the song. I think it's a cool little rock track. I don't think it was an. I don't think it became a hit or whatever. I think it was his second album. I don't know if it was. It's supposed to reach number 15 on the Billboard, so maybe it was released as a single. I don't know. It was written by Otis Blackwell. Supposedly Presley did an arrangement or something because in the album it says it was written by Presley and Otis Blackwell. I don't know. His early songs are just cool rock and roll tracks, and I love this one from the moment I heard it. The style of the song, Elvis' performance, um, I just think it was great. And at 17 from the same album is a song that's just called "When My Blue Moon Turns to Gold." Um, Again, this is just a nice little rock and roll track with a great Elvis performance, and I love the words. I love the words, and I love that. I don't know. It's a cool little rock and roll track from the early Elvis in his second album. So, well, moving on. Right now, we're going to go with number 16. And this one is also from the album. I mean, I heard it on the album Elvis X Stax. I know I think it's on the album Good Times. And it's Good Time Charlie's Got the Blues. I love the truthfulness in the words. I mean, when he's talking about if you play too long, you lose your life, and if you play around, you lose your wife. Uh, talking about, I think it's mainly about life that we lead, and we just feel like we're having a good time until we kind of realize that we're throwing things of our life away somehow, and now that makes us. I don't know. That's how I always received it. But I love the words. I love the performance, of course, and I just love the song. I really love that song. And number 15, "Suspicious Minds" written by Mark James. This one actually, I believe, was when he stopped doing movies. He released this song, and it was a big hit. It was a big hit for Elvis, and I love the performance, the band behind behind Elvis, the chorus. It was really in 1968, and I just love the background uh, of the girl singing behind Elvis, and of course Elvis. It's just such a high-paced song, and you can feel again Elvis' voice kind of gives a frustration of this character, or this person who wants his girl to trust him, basically. Great song, great track. Number 14, for me, Mac Davis, written by Mac Davis, is "In the Ghetto." Elvis sang two songs written by this guy, and they're both similar in the sadness behind the songs. I like this one better. I feel it's more powerful in the message than the other one that's called "Don't Cry, Daddy." Um, I mean, it's a beautiful song. I mean, "In the Ghetto," um, and Elvis once again performs it perfectly. I mean, his voice again, uh, just flawless in the performance. Number 13 is one of his best known love songs, and I Can't Help Falling in Love. Um, I love it. I kind of first heard it on the UB40s version because they did a version of it for the movie Sliver with Sharon Stone, I believe, and it was big on MTV. And years later, I heard Elvis's version, which of course is superior because they made it like a reggae kind of thing. It's a beautiful ballad, beautiful love song, and I think it's from one of his movies. But it's just such a great song. So moving on to number 12. This one is "You've Lost That Loving Feeling." This one is written by Spector and Mann and Cynthia Wells. Okay, so this song I don't remember who sang it first. Let me see, because I know it was a hit for someone else before Elvis. I think Elvis sang it mostly on his live concert because he sang all the songs that are available on those live albums that I don't think he recorded. But it was a hit for the Righteous Brothers. Um, but I love Elvis's version for two reasons. Well, for one reason, the power that Elvis gives it with his voice. I mean, Elvis sings it with such passion towards the end. You know, his screaming, bring back that loving feeling. I mean, you can feel the desperation in Elvis' voice. And I love that performance. I actually just love the way he performs that song. I mean, it's just such an amazing thing. And number 11 is another one of his classics. Um, and it's Lottie, Miss Claudie, which was included, I believe, on, I don't know if it was on his first or second album, but it was on the early records. It was a single, apparently, yeah. So yeah, anyway, it was recorded early on, and I just loved the. Again, it's his voice. It all for me, Elvis. It all comes down to the power of his voice, and I just love how his melodic tuning in the voice in this one, as his pleading. You know, it's a great rock and roll song. It's a great rock and roll song. Um, Heavy on piano and Elvis's voice. I just love it. I've been listening to it constantly in this past few days, and it's just that. It all goes down to Elvis's voice. I mean, Elvis was a performer, and he was a great performer, great entertainer. I would love to see him on concert if he was still alive, of course. But based on the videos and all the things, I mean, he's just such a great entertainer. And going to see him live, it was not a waste of time or waste of money. I mean, he gave it his all, even when he couldn't no more. I mean, he was just such a force. On number 10, Jailhouse Rock. This is one of the rock. I mean, the music, the music and the lyrics, just such a fun rock and roll track. And Elvis, of course, I think by this time he's at his peak of his powers. I mean, he's just beginning to rise, and he's great. He's great. Number 9, I'm calling with Viva Las Vegas. Now, I'm not a gambling man. I've never been to Vegas, nor do I want to go, but I love the song. I love the vibrate, the vibe, and the desperation in the words. Like, this guy really, I mean, this guy's really hyped about this. He really doesn't want to go to sleep or anything. He just wants to, So, I mean, it's a fun little track. Number 8, this one is a beautiful song written by Neil Diamond, and it's called "And the Grass Won't Pay No Mind." I discovered this track on the first record that they did with the orchestration. Um, I think it was titled "If I Can Dream." Elvis live with the London Symphony Orchestra. It was that album, the first one they did. They did a few albums with an orchestra. But this was the first one, and I love the words. I think Neil Diamond wrote a beautiful song, and I think we couldn't ask for someone better to sing it than Elvis, even if it was a version. I think Neil Diamond made one of his own, but I think Elvis, again, just gives that song that extra feeling with his voice. And I loved it. I loved this from the moment I heard it. Number 7 is Bossa Nova, Baby. I love this track. Maybe it's a guilty pleasure one. I don't know, the movie I don't like. The movie's fun in Acapulco, but the video and the song, I love it. I mean, Elvis performing that song, moving around and all that. It's such a cool track. It's a cool rock and roll song. And I don't know, I've always liked it. Number 6, and this one, I know my mom will put it higher. But I want to dedicate this number six to my mother. It's The Wonder of You. This is her favorite song, and it's one of my favorite too. At number six, I love it. It's a simple song. I mean, it's not that long, but the lyrics are beautiful. And Elvis, again, his performance, and it's a beautiful love song. I mean, we all need someone who backs up, even if we don't understand the reasons why. And this song is about that, and I love it. I love it. It's a beautiful song, and it actually was a number one hit for Elvis. I didn't know that as I was doing research. Yeah, it was number one for Elvis. Number five and number four, I'm going with two classics. Number five, Ultra Cup. I've always loved this one. I actually heard it on one of those Look Who's Talking films. I think John Travolta's character sang this song in a daycare place with the kids, and I've always loved it. I mean, it's just such a nice rhythm, nice little rock and roll song with fun little love lyrics. And number four, Don't Be Cruel, another classic, uh, written also by Blackwell. Um, and number three, it's this one is I heard it live on the Hawaii album. Is Welcome to My World, and I love the lyrics. You can take it at tooth. You can take it as spiritual love song. I always took it more like uh, I mean, it's a love song, but the bridge is one that I think took it from the Bible. In the knock and the door shall be open, which is great, and I've always related to it. It's like the simpleness of my world is built for you. I don't know. I think it's a beautiful performance. It's live and moving, and it's always been one of the first Elvis Presley songs that I started really looking into. And number two, always on my mind. This was a hit for Willie Nelson, although neither no, it was written by someone else. It was not written by Willie Nelson, but he Elvis passed on it first, and then Willie Nelson took it. Then Elvis did a version of his own, and because I think Elvis was going through the Lisa Marie thing, the pain in his voice is so palpable that it makes this song. Any other guy could sing it, and it's a regular love song, but Elvis made it to me real, powerful. I mean, when he sings that "You Were Always on My Mind," he's feeling it, and he made the song his. I have to say, and it's an amazing record, and I love it. My number one song of Elvis is a song called "If I Can Dream." Now, this song has a beautiful story on it. If you haven't seen The Searcher, the documentary that HBO did, this song came because Elvis was doing his special, and well, I think it was 2 months prior or during the recording or during that process, Martin Luther King was assassinated, and I believe also Robert Kennedy. I mean, not in a row, but during the process of that special. And Elvis wanted to close with a different song. They had another song, and Elvis said, "No, I want to replace this one." And this one was written by Walter Brown, and he wrote it specifically knowing about Elvis's feeling about Dr. King, and the lyrics on this one are really amazing. And Elvis' performance again, it gives so much power to the song. And when you read about the story of Elvis and his manager and how his manager really, um, I mean, did not allow Elvis to really spread his wings as an artist. And when you read that he felt this song did not fit Elvis, and Elvis, thank God for this one, he went against his manager and said, "No, no, I'm gonna try." And when I read those involved, they said that there were tears in people's eyes because Elvis really he meant to reward. And Elvis said after this song that he would never sing a song that he didn't mean to sing, that it didn't mean something to him. So that's a huge step or a huge change maybe as an artist for Elvis moving forward. So it's a beautiful song. If you haven't listened to it, check on it on YouTube. It's a powerful performance. There's even a beautiful performance with the digital or hologram with Celine Dion, which I think was really, 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 really great. Uh, Elvis Presley's missed. Next month, he died on August 1977, and for me, along with Lennon, those two were taken too young. I mean, there were a lot of artists taken too young, but I mean, John Lennon and Elvis were something really special, and I wish those two were still around. I gotta say. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the list. If you have your own list, you can check it, put it in the comments. Um, and if you haven't given a chance to the King, listen to a few of his songs. They're really cool. Of course, there's basic, but they're from the 50s, but they're still very well recorded. So anyway, until the next one, bye.